Hello and welcome to the April 2021 PPM podcast. So here we are again, back for another month. Not a lot of things to actually go over this month. We'll add some things that we talked about from last month and then add some things. Remember to hit that subscribe button down on the lower, on your system should be on the lower right hand corner. Click the subscribe button and then thumbs up, hopefully. That does two things. It lets us know that you enjoyed the podcast, that we're doing a good thing here. And number two, when we post something, it will automatically send you an email saying that PPM Podcast has a posting. And that way you don't necessarily have to wait for the newsletter to come out saying there is a podcast. You'll get notification right off the bat. So you can even watch it sooner than everybody else. Our last month podcast saw 280 some people watching the podcast. That's good news. However, with over 500 and some instructors, that's only half of our people. So we need to get more of our folks watching the podcast. Remember, you don't have to be part of PPM to watch the podcast. Certainly, if you want to subscribe to our podcast and watch it, you're more than welcome. Okay, number two on the thing. Please do not sign up for the AHA instructor search. What that does is cause nothing but problems for PPM. We had a couple new instructors recently sign up for it, and once again, we had the same problems. Many times, the person that signed up for it, they think they're coming here for a class. They are not. It's supposed to notify the instructor of a class. Typically, it doesn't. So the person either goes to a location, nobody's there. In some cases, they paid for the course. The instructor didn't get the money. Nobody knows where the money went. And the problem is it appears as if it is a PPM website or it is a PPM class. It is not. And as such, we get people calling us, threatening us with legal action because they paid for a class. And again, it's not our class. We have nothing to do with it. However, the Heart Association's comment, when we bring this to their attention, is the fact that since you are under our training center, we are 100% responsible for you. Well, yeah, how's that work if we don't even know this thing's out there? So that's why we say, unfortunately, no, you cannot belong to the AHA instructor search. It causes problems. If you want to do that, then please get out of our training center and go to another training center, and then feel free to cause them all the problems that this thing causes. Okay, enough said about that, please. Next item, $50 annual fee. We've been doing our $50 instructor annual fee, which has offset the cost of running the program, for about 3 years now. So some people are saying, oh, I never paid that before. Well, actually you did. And if somehow we forgot you, hey, that was kind of a lucky guess. So no to biggie, but please, the other point is please wait till we send you the invoice to make your payment for your annual instructor dues. That way it makes it easier to track. Some people know ahead of time, they know they're coming up in, say, January, and they just send us off a payment, which is kind of neat, but then I've got to enter the payment, make sure that our accounting group knows to not send out an invoice, and then sometimes we send out an invoice, but you've already paid, and everybody gets upset. And nothing to get upset about. We'll go ahead and fix it. Just let us know that, hey, you paid, here's how we paid, and we'll go ahead and fix it for you. So it's not like we're trying to overbill you. It's just a mistake in the bookkeeping. That's why I say please wait till the invoice comes out. That way it's easier for us to track and check off that you made your payment. Okay, has there been any changes on your end? Okay, have you changed your address? Have you changed your email address in particular? Because we send out our newsletter. When we do, of course, it goes out to the email address. When we have issues that come up that we have to get in touch with you, we have to do it by email. There's not enough hours in the day to call 500 and some instructors at any one shot. So that's why we use our constant contact and try to get in touch with you email-wise. In many cases, when we send an email out to you, if you have not canceled that email, we don't know you didn't get it. It does not come back with a bounce back. If it comes back with a bounce back, then we know to get in touch with you that something's wrong. But in many cases, these things go out there and we don't know that you've changed your email address. So if you haven't heard from us, say within 90 days, because remember, every month we do a podcast, so you should hear us from that. But if you haven't heard from us in a good while, yeah, get in touch with Kathy because something's wrong somewhere. Because we do send stuff out on somewhat of a regular basis. Not every day like these other outfits do, but literally when we need to get in touch with you, okay? Good news, I've got both my shots on board. So now I am, quote, covered, which is kind of good news. At least I think so. No really bad side effects. A sore arm, and that's typical with any shot you get. So other than that, absolutely no problems. So kind of cool. I'm certainly pro vaccine, always have been, always will be. Okay. Um, Follow up on our baby in full hand. I talked to one of our instructors who her main job is pediatric emergencies, and her comment to me was the fact that they think full hand is because when they get the baby in the hospital, the baby's already stiff as a board, and trying to compress that chest on basically, we're talking rigor mortis here, is very difficult. Okay, I can understand that, and that's true. When rigor mortis sets in, they're kind of as stiff as a board. But really, if rigor mortis has already been set in, that really at that point is a no-code patient. That certainly follows even AHA guidelines as far as no-code scenario if rigor mortis has been set in. So again, the SIDS cases that I've been on, as arriving at scene and finding a SIDS case scenario, 2 fingers was more than capable of doing the compressions on the infant. The old day 2 fingers, not an issue compressing the chest. So I understand where they're coming from as far as their comment that if the baby's already stiff, it takes a full hand to make compressions. Okay, I understand that comment. The sad news is we have 2 instructors that are retiring, 2 very good instructors. The one, Karen Panuska, has been around for 22 years teaching CPR. She taught CPR in the Baltimore County schools, and even for us on the side, doing some classes and helping out with stuff. So she retires with 22 years of teaching CPR. Our other person is even a sadder case because she's been with us for over 30 years, and that's Annette McGann. Many of you know her. You've understudied under her. She helps with our instructor classes, and she's heading off to Missouri, and maybe we'll see her come back and visit, but as far as teaching, Roy, that's kind of losing an instructor to Missouri, and certainly a good friend and a great instructor. We will miss her greatly here at PPM. She's been kind of a fixture at PPM for many, many years, kind of here shortly after we started. So we will miss her. Today, as a matter of fact, we're doing a little retirement party for her, a few little things that she wants. She wants wings for her things, so we got those coming in. And again, if you have her email or anything, or you see her, wish her good luck. And we wish her all the good luck and, as they say, fair winds and following seas as she goes out to Missouri. And that's pretty much everything. So it's not a big podcast this time. Not a lot of changes. Everything's pretty much the same as our other previous podcasts that we went over. But again, if you've got any questions, thoughts, comments, you want me to ask me any questions, make sure you email me in, and I'll add that to my next podcast. And again, remember to hit that button in the bottom there, the subscribe button, so that we don't have to keep even sending out a newsletter, because we'll cover that in our podcast. Okay? Thanks, and take care, and I'll talk to you soon.